at SimStructure, which is a program I wrote back in 2000. It's a Windows physics simulator, especially for control systems. Right now we're running it in Wine under Linux, and it'll simulate masses and springs. The black ones are like rubber bands, and back in 2000 it was pretty impressive, but now they have Grand Theft Auto and stuff. Anyway, so we're going to put a thruster. It's going to have 10,000 newtons, and then when you press the 1 key, it's going to have 20,000 newtons. And this kind of lets the kids play around with it. You can put a gun. Press the 2 key. So let's put a gun right here. So now when I press 2, okay, and it also does airfoils. But today we're going to be looking at rockets. So I'm going to put on the grid. I'm going to put on the mouse trails, or the particle trails. I'm going to set the particle trails to 0.05. I'm going to zoom. I'm going to put particle at 5, 1 at 10. I'm going to put a bond between them. It uses masses and springs. It calls them bonds and particles, but they're just masses and springs. Anyway, so I'm going to set 0 thrust, and we're going to use the command window. So we're going to say T1 thrust equals T1 saturation times. So these are 5 units, so 15 is right here, this line right here. So we want the bottom particle, which is 1, up at 15. So we're going to say we want it to turn on. If it's less than 15, we want a positive value, so P1Y. So what we just did is, now I'm going to track the bottom. So we're overshooting. Here's 15 right here. So you can see we're overshooting. What we're trying to do is make a hovercraft. We're going to start with a hovercraft. You can. I think that's SpaceX. Anyway, so we're going to do that. That's what we have right now. Now we want to make a PID controller. So we say double K proportional Y, K derivative Y. So we're going to say error Y, K proportional Y, K derivative Y. So error Y is equal to 15 minus P1Y. So we say these are feedback gains. The proportional gain times error Y minus the derivative gain times particle 1 derivative of Y. So let's start with 1.0. So what's going to happen is, as it starts moving faster, we're going to start backing off on the thrust so that it doesn't overshoot. Now, as a matter of fact, we backed off so much that it's undershooting. So let's make a signal. This is just a vector signal, SY, equals error y. And we're going to say this tells it when the screen is updated, plot sy. So right now we're undershooting. So we want less. We want less derivative. We're backing off too much. So let's do. I happen to know that this works well. Okay. We're not overshooting at all. Let's overshoot a little bit. I think we want to overshoot a little bit. That got to that settled. That got there at about 2. Okay, we overshot a little bit, and we got okay. So now there's a steady state error. Did you see that? We have a steady state error. What we want to do is integrate under the curve and drive the error to 0. So this part under the curve is going to get bigger and bigger and drive it to 0 when we start integrating. So we're going to make an integrator. I equals error. This is you assign to the integrator, and that's how it works. So we're going to say KIY. I happen to know 0.1 is a good value. So plus the integrator y times the integrator gain y gain times the. Now it should drive it to 0. You see how it's driving it to 0? Now what we have is if there's an integrator, it's a type 1 system. So now we have a PID controller, we have a PID controller, we have an integrator, it's plotting the signal. Now what if we want, right now it's a continuous time, where it's simulating with an adaptive step size run cut of 4.5. What that means is it's out of the book Numeric Recipes in C. You know how quick sort is better than bubble sort? Well, run kata is better than Euler. Euler is the unsophisticated way, 4.5 adaptive step size means that we assume that 5 is more perfect than 4. The 5th order is more perfect than 4th order run kata, and so we get an estimate of the error. When 4 and 5 start varying, then it means we probably have error. So like if a comet is going near the sun, you want to slow down when it's close to the sun. And if you have 100 comets, it probably doesn't work. But anyway, that's what I have, is an adaptive step size out of the book Numeric Recipes in C. And anything outside is kind of like every time the derivative is evaluated, it's evaluated. Now, I made this kind of notation, or this syntax. If you put it in, if you do it like this, it's like a discrete, so this is like a digital controller with the sample rate of 0.1. So let's see how it should be a lot worse. So now no, it's not much worse. Anyway, that's so that's like a digital controller. Watch what happens if we say 0.5. It's gonna. So that means that means it either stays fully on for half a second or fully off for half a second, or the value is adjusted only once every half second. So it's not fast enough. You can make a filter, a digital filter in SimStructure. Let's say so that's what we have. Anyway, I'm gonna let's just get rid of that. I don't feel like messing with that. Okay, so now we're gonna make an angle controller. We've had enough fun with the. Oh no, one more thing. Let's do a. So let's say desired y. Let's say desired y equals 15. Then we say desired y. So in school they teach you to drive the error to 0. But in reality, you want it to follow some trajectory. So let's say 15 times t. So this means we want it to blast off. I think we've had enough with this signal. I'm gonna get rid of it. So what did I do? Oh, 15 plus t. Being stupid. Okay, so now it's going up at 15 meters a second. So let's plot line p1.x minus 5 comma desired y comma p1.x plus 5 comma desired y comma red, and we'll do 3 pixels. So that's our desired y. So we're going to overshoot it, and we have a steady state error. Okay, it's integrating it, but because it's a type 1 system, right now we're giving it a ramp input, and so what that means is we need a second order integrator. I'm not going to do this very carefully. y2 equals I. This is how you do it. So for a ramp, okay. Let's call it I2Y. I2Y. Okay. So now we have a second order integrator, and it's going to overshoot more and stuff like that. And anyway, now watch what happens if we don't have an angle controller. So let's do double A. First of all, let's look at text at 10 pixels, heading %12.6f, bond 1 heading. Okay, this is what we have to work with. So right now it's kind of like right now it's kind of like a ship heading, and let's say A equals, it's in degrees, so first we want to convert to radians, so we say pi divided by 180 times bond 1 heading. So let's do angle so what we want to do is let's see what we have. So the angle is 6, so the angle is 2 pi. So what we want to do is unwrap it. Unwrap. And we want it to go from minus pi to pi. So let's see. Anyway, long story short, we say thruster 1 angle is equal to A. Let's see what that does. Okay, that's the wrong sign. We have to say minus A. So now it corrects itself. So let's say error A and KPA KDA. It's KPA 1.0. We're going to make a PD controller. I happen to know 0.01 works well. So error A is equal to 0 minus A. KPA times error A KD A, and there's something called spin, and I do believe it's radians per second. Could be degrees per second, I don't remember. Anyway, so I got it backward, whatever it is. So so now what it's going to do is correct itself. So now you know what we're going to do. Let's see how this works with taller rocket. It should still work. SpaceX has a tall rocket. Now we're going to get tricky. What if we have fuel slosh? I just invented this way to simulate fuel slosh. You can see it's not stable. Okay, so what we want is air A2 comma KPA2 comma KD A2, and A2 is bond 2, error A2 is, I do believe, plus KPA2 times error A2 minus KD. I think it's inverted. I think it's inverted. So error A2 is equal to A2 minus 0, and this is inverted. Let's see what happens if I don't invert it. Okay, so If I disturb it, it's trying to drive it to 0. It's not working. Okay, long story short, this I don't know if that's any better. I think it's too, that's unreasonable. Well, as a matter of fact, from past experience, I think these need to be small. Oh, I didn't set them up at all. You idiot. That's embarrassing. Okay. So now you can see it's trying hard to keep the A2 from spinning. It's trying too hard to keep the A2 from spinning. It's trying to keep the A2 from spinning. So let's see if it handles a just to be strange, what if we crank this up? Let's crank that up to 3. Okay, that was a bad idea. Okay. It needs to pay more attention to the main angle. Okay, we're just putzing around. So, you never do this in school, but in reality, you want to plot a trajectory for where it goes. In school, you just drive the arrow to 0, but in reality, you want to make it follow a parabola or something like that, go into orbit. So anyway, that's SimStructure.